We're going to talk more about slope today. So let's look at our foldable. We cut it out and then we cut the flaps. We're going to write on each flap and then on the inside of each one. So a positive slope is like slope dude positive. The line is going uphill from left to right. So we could draw just a small positive slope with arrows on the end. That's considered positive. So let's open it up. We have a coordinate grid. It's kind of hard to see the numbers, but where you see that 0, that is the origin. So this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. Go ahead and label those. We're going to graph some points. These points here, 0 and 1, 2. So different ways of finding slope would be either by graphing, or you can also just use a formula. So we're going to look at it both ways. We're going to look at it on a graph, and then we're also going to use a formula. So if I look at this, I have 2 points. I could find a third point. Look and see how you go from one point to another, like up 2 over 1. So I could find another point by going down to left 1. So did y'all see that? Up to right 1. To find another point, we would go down to left 1. Go ahead and connect your points with your ruler. We're going to do rise over run. I know last year whenever y'all did slope, y'all were able to go left, but what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to go up or down first and then go right only. So that means you're going to have to start on a point that's to the left of the other one. So I could start at the origin and use your colors like we did yesterday where we did rise in one color, run in the other. I'm going to do my rise in green and go 1, 2. And then run 1. So I'm going to write it in pen, my slope, and then I'll reduce it. So up to over 1. So I could leave it like that, but really I want to just write it as equals 2. So my slope is 2 when we look at it on the graph. And it is positive. It is going uphill. Another way to find slope, and this is from 2 points that you're going to do on Delta Math today, is if you look at your formula chart. So look at my journal. The front cover, we glued in a formula chart that's green. On this formula chart, we have a formula for slope of a line. I've seen this before. It's written as y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We're going to use this formula to find the slope. So we're going to write it here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to label our x1, y1, x2, y2. So make sure that on this first point, you have an x and a y. So it's an x and a y. Go ahead and label them x and y. But because it's our first pair, we'll put ones right beside them. So that's x1, y1. And so our other one, we have an x and a y again. but we're going to label it with 2's. X2, Y2. So we can use our coordinates to use the formula or to plug into the formula. So look at y. Y2 is 2 right here. So it's 2 minus, so it's the second number of the second order pair minus y1, the first order pair, the second number, so minus 0 over x2 is 1 minus x1. So we'd simplify the numerator and the denominator. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 0, 1, which just equals 2. So m equals 2. Which is the same thing we got when we graphed it. So if the points are already graphed on the line, you'll do rise over run. If you're given 2 points, you can use your formula. Okay, negative slope is a downhill. So let's plot the points and draw the line. Go ahead and label your x and y axis too. 0, 0 on the origin. 1, negative 2. Let's find another point though. So this is going down 2, right 1. How could I find another point? I do the complete opposite. Yep. So up 2, left 1. I'm just finding something that would fall in line with the other 2 points. So start on the point on the left and do your rise in one color and your run in the other. I'm going to start with the origin. So go down 1, 2. So since it's going down, whenever you rise, you do a negative 2. And then run 1. So rise negative 2. So m equals negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. Let's use the formula again. We're going to write it again. So you can look back at the last one and rewrite it. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Once you know the formula, label your X's and Y's. Go ahead and label X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And so X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So you have an X and a Y with each one. What I noticed last period was people were doing X1, X2. But that's not an X, that's a Y. Make sure you do X1, Y1. Make sure you do X2, Y2. So A equals Y2 is negative 2. minus a y1 minus 0 over x2 1 minus the x 1 0. It's a negative 2 over 1, which just equals negative 2. So m equals negative 2, which these are the same. Just two different ways of getting it, graph or formula. All right, a zero slope is a horizontal line. Horizontal line. It's flat. If it has a zero slope, it means it's flat. So let's plot our points. Label your x and y axis. Plot your point. 1, 1, 2, 1. Where would all your points be? Where y is 1. If you want to add more points, you can. So if we were to do rise and run, there is no rise, there's only a run. So I'm going to use my run color. So we just run 1. There was no rise. So our rise would be 0. That's what goes on top. Our run is 1. 0 over 1, 0. Y'all remember the analogy yesterday? We talked about eggs in a basket at Walmart. Eggs on top are okay. That's where you want the eggs to go whenever you buy eggs at Walmart and you're going shopping. You put it on the top. You don't put it on the bottom. It'll get crushed. So eggs on top. Eggs will be okay. So it equals 0. They're going to stay looking like an egg. 0. Okay, so that's a 0 slope, horizontal line. Let's write our formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's write x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 1 minus y1 is 1 over x2 is 2 minus x1. Now the y values are the exact same. Whenever you subtract two things that are the exact same thing, you get a 0. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So same thing. Eggs are on top. It's okay. So m equals 0. Eggs are on bottom. It's not okay. All right, last one, undefined. Undefined is a vertical line. straight up and down, falling off the cliff. All right, label your X and Y axis on your graph. So 1, 1, 1, 2. The rise and run, it rises by 1. Rise 1, but it runs 0. Didn't go over at all. So this is eggs on bottom. Not okay. If it's not okay, then it's undefined. Undefined is the worst word in math language. Eggs on bottom is not okay, so it equals undefined. Go ahead and label your x1, y1, x2, y2. So both of these are 1s, both of these are 2s. Don't get it mixed up. Let's write our formula though. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we'll plug in the formula. Y2, 2 minus 1 over 1 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Eggs on bottom, undefined. M equals undefined. Go ahead and glue that in, and then we're going to write some things down in our journal. So you should have that one glued in. Now turn your page sideways on page 32. We're going to do hoy and vuck. So this is to help you remember horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to just draw a line like this down the middle. And I'm going to write H O Y on the left side for hoy. And on the other side, V U X. So this is to help you remember vertical and horizontal lines. On point, H stands for horizontal line. Think about what a horizontal line looks like. Go ahead and draw a little one. It's a flat slope. Oh, or actually zero is the slope. Zero slope. And the y is how the equation's written. It doesn't have a slope, so it'd be like 0x plus some number. Or it's just y equals some number is our equation. And the box is V stands for vertical line. Draw a little vertical line. And then U. So if horizontal line has zero slope, vertical line has undefined. And then the equation is x equals a number. So it doesn't even say y equals at all. And normally equations are written as y equals something. Well, for vertical lines, it's undefined slope, so it doesn't even have a y involved at all. It's just x equals some number. Okay, so that's it for your notes. You're going to work on delta math. You have slope from a graph, and then you have slope from 2 points. So remember the formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you have to show work for that, for the newest delta math.